Hey guys, I'm Nick. If you're new to the channel, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. There's a ton of useful content that's going to help you catch more fish. I'm not going to show you where to catch them. The information will help you catch more fish and make you a better angler. This is a whole series on questions and answers. If you're new to it, I fire from the hip, okay? You can go to the link in the description. You can submit your question. I'm going to pop the question up on my phone before it falls asleep. I'm going to tell you who wrote it, tell you a little about the guy, where he fishes, and then I'm just going to answer the question like I would if we were standing in the tackle shop. It's the whole reason this series exists, to give you guys one-on-one feedback, because that feedback is going to help other people as well. So, question came in the other day from Nate. I've met Nate several times in the tackle shop when I worked there and on the water. Great dude. He fishes this area from Destin to Pensacola. And his question is, what time of the year do you like to fish in areas other than the Sound or offshore? For example, East Bay, Blackwater Bay, Cinco Bayou. So, he's talking about, like the northernmost bay systems, okay? Um, One thing about fishing the northernmost bay systems, if you do a lot of research, which I know you guys all probably have, any Google search is going to tell you the trout go to the river system. And for general purposes, that is true. You can catch them in the river system. In the middle of winter, I love to fish the Santa Rosa Sound. Obviously, the pattern changes, and that's the biggest thing that I think people fail to recognize. Can't talk. Obviously, I've been sick. I lost my voice. Um, they fail to recognize that there is a pattern. The fish move. One of the reasons I think that people always relate wintertime to the river is because most people who lived in Milton 30 or 40 years ago didn't have access to drive to Pensacola or drive down to Destin or chase fish in the Sound, so they fished in their backyards. They were able to realize in the middle of winter there were more fish in the river system. It was easier to catch trout in the winter in the rivers. And one of the reasons is less rain, lower water levels, colder water, the bait flushes to the warmer water, colder water in the bay, warmer water in the bottom of the river. And the bait will run into those river systems. They also run into the back of a bayou where they're warm. The trout just follows the bait. So you can catch fish in most bay systems, upper bay systems, East Bay, Blackwater, Scambia, Pensacola, all of those bays, all the bayous like Tahar, Cinco, Chico. There's tons of them. You can catch fish in all of those bayous for most of the year, but you need to change your approach. The pattern changes. Remember, these fish are looking for comfortable water temperature. They're not really looking for anything else. They're just chasing bait. If that water is too hot or too oxygenated or there's too much fresh water in the system, they're not going to go all the way into the river. They're not going to go all the way into the back of the bayou. So keep that stuff in mind. I love fishing the bay systems. We've spent the last 2 or 3 weeks in the Sound though, just because things have been good and fishing all over is really keeps it interesting. Okay, don't be afraid to go look places because it's something that you read. A lot of the times, the information you see on the fishing forums or old blog pages isn't. It's true, but it's not the only information there. I'll tell you, in the middle of winter, I love fishing the Sound. You know why? Well, one, there's no jet skis, there's no boat traffic, there aren't any 12-inch trout. Every fish I catch is a quality fish. And if you, as an angler, still think that these speckled trout leave the ICW and swim all the way into Escambia River, you've lost your mind. That is a huge round trip cycle that's just not happening with all of these fish. It's not reasonable. There are plenty of canals in the Sound. There are plenty of deep water. The channel's deep. There are 20-foot holes out there. Pensacola Bay is super deep. These fish aren't all migrating all the way to the river system. So keep that stuff in mind. There are fish everywhere. I say it all the time, and I truly mean it. We pick places to fish based on tide, the wind, the weather report, how much rain we've had. Finally, it's raining. That's a good thing. One thing about rain is rain concentrates fish. Everyone's like, oh, it's terrible when it rains. No, you just haven't found what they are doing. So keep that stuff in mind. All of the bay systems, all of the bayous can be productive year round. You just got to go look. So there's no right answer. It's just figuring out a pattern that works for you and putting it to the test. One way to figure that out, someone asked the other day, well, how do I learn to pattern fish? We learn to pattern fish by fishing the same place under every single tidal condition, every single weather condition. And you take notes. If you're not doing that stuff, you're never going to find a pattern. You're never going to figure out why they are there. One of my favorite trout fisheries, I tell this story all the time. I fished it for, I don't know, way too long with nothing to show for it. And then one day I looked at my notes section and it was like, wow, well, you could probably do it completely opposite of what you've been doing. And I did. And it's one of my favorite trout fisheries of all time. But no one puts the time in to go figure it out. So hit the water, take some time to figure it out. I'm sure you'll be successful. I'm sure you'll find things that no one else knows exist. If you guys have any questions of your own, click that link below in the description, submit your question, and we will answer it eventually. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Hope you guys have a great day.